Welcome to another episode of VASL Nostra. This is Game of the Month updates. So thank you for participating in the first game of the month. We had a really good turnout. I think there's 5 to 7 files on ad hoc at Chef Dupont. I'll be reviewing those and looking at how those games differ. And that way we can have a summary and we can discuss those as we come up. Probably since there's 5 of them, maybe 25 minutes a piece, maybe, or we'll see what happens. So I'll have to determine the format on that. If you guys have a format of what you want to expect or what you expect to see in the Tactical Tuesday review of that, give me some hints and clues. We're all learning on this together. The ASL Dead of Winter review will be held in about 2 weeks. So that'll be about maybe the 12th or 15th, I don't know, whatever day that might be. What I want to do is I want to include that on the first. I want to start an ASL sort of Tactical Tuesday, but for ASL scenarios. That'll be on the weekend to incorporate the European players, just to kind of, use that as an example to try and reach out and, communicate with our players, at least in the European theater as well. So again, for the US players, most likely that'll be anywhere between, let's say, 9 and 1 p.m. We'll get that going. Again, time is going to be determined based upon some feedback I get from European players. If you are a European player and would like to participate in either Game of the Month, you are welcome to. And submit your VASL files on ASL Scenario Archive and the ASL Real-Time, ASLPlayers.net, which is Neil Euland's site. Both resources are great to add on to, so that's what we're doing there. I'll show you what I did to in terms of why I picked certain scenarios over the next ones. So again, I'll review both of them, and I've already reviewed the Dead of Winter because there were like 3 files submitted for Dead of Winter. Thanks guys, you know who you are. We'll go over them in just a minute. Not in terms of reviewing, but we'll just kind of review. But again, 3 ASL, I think there's at least 5 ad hoc at Chef Dupont. That's pretty cool, even if they're duplicated. If you want to play the Game of the Month twice, play both sides. If you want to play one side and then you say, oh, it's totally unbalanced, and switch to the other side, that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't matter that you don't have to only play it once. You could switch sides and then replay it again, maybe using a different strategy than your opponent played. Maybe use the same strategy to see if you can make it, to see if his strategy was effective. Maybe you got some bad dice rolls, whatever. But that's what we're looking at for the Game of the Month. So last month, if you noticed, I don't know if you noticed or not, but exit victory conditions. Chef Dupont, exit off the hex. Dead of Winter, exit off the hex. This month, we're going to focus on like objective control. So the starter kit scenario, and I'll show you which scenario it is, will be based on controlling like a piece of terrain. So, and then the ASL scenario will be also controlling a piece of terrain. You don't have to clear guys from an area. That's another type of victory conditions. You don't have to get casualty victory points. It's another type of victory condition. So that's what we're that's how I'm going to focus. The theme for each month in terms of victory conditions is going to change, so you're not playing the same scenario. I didn't want to pick exit victory, exit victory, exit victory. Some people hate exit victory conditions. They much rather get into the fight, punch each other in the face, and knock down, drag out to the last turn. So not a problem with that. I just want to throw those particular scenarios out right in the beginning. I felt those were interesting scenarios. Were they the best? Probably not. I hope you guys enjoyed them though. But this time around, it's going to be like maintaining control of a road. I think that's the ASL one. The starter kit one might control like 5 hexes or something like that. Something like that. So just strictly objective control. Has nothing to do with casualties and anything like that. We'll get to those. We'll get to those later on. So, how do you join the scenario Game of the Month? GOTM is what the abbreviation is. GOTM. I want you to use 2 sites for this. It's very easy to use. I kind of went over before. I'm going to go over it again. The first site that's hosting the game of the month is the ASL Scenario Archive with Dave Ramsey. So let's go to that and let's see how you can figure that. So here's the site. Obviously the whole thing's not popped on. My screen window is reduced. Yeah, there we go. So here's kind of the window. Game of the month. This is the home page here. And so Dave and Martin, Illuminating Rounds, most recent episode, at least what they've uploaded. Click on that, watch that, then thumb through. He's got the latest news. Where we are scroll down, and we are right here, just under top rated players. So this is scenario of the month. The ASL scenario will be Monastir Gap. It's a Waffen SS2, the Fuhrers Firemen. It's FF7. That is, I believe, control of a roadway. The ASL starter kit is Legio, Patria, Nostra. So that is that. I think that is S16. That is in the S2 starter kit. It's not like the other one where it's not actually in the kit. So, I think the balance on Roar, let me check the balance on Roar. I want to use the balance. I want to use the balance on one of the scenarios. I think the ASL one is balanced. And so, record by name. The SK one, I'm going to double check. I'm pretty sure it's that one. So, Legio, let's go. Legio. How do you spell that? Legio. So we're going to scroll here, and again, this is the only resource we have, so I'm just going to go with it. So we might as well just kind of use it. Legio. Oh, my bad. It's Legio, not Legio. Legio. My Italian's a bit off. So, you know what? Let's go back over here, because guess what? I'm pretty dumb. Click on Legio Patria Nostra, and it will take you directly to it. This is the scenario as shown on the scenario archive site. I'm just going to move the black thing over here so we have a better picture. That's the menu item. To be honest with you, just click on the things I just showed you to click on, and it will take you there. So the balance, Free French seems to win more than the Germans. So it's 68 Pro Free French, based on the players that have played it so far. Don't know the skill levels. So in that case, I want you to use the balance for the Germans. I don't even know what the balance is for the Germans. Just use the balance for the Germans, just to switch things up. For those people that never use the balance, don't understand what the balance is, read balance features in your thing. So if the balance is given, you look up in the balance area under the scenario card, and if the balance is given to the Germans, look beside the German insignia, and that's what you change. Typically, they're going to be OB changes, but they can be any number of changes. Reading the balance, play the scenario with the balance in the Legio Patria Nostra scenario. S16. So there's 12.5 squads, 6 turns, 8 defenders. What I liked about this one, again, another theme that we're going to have for the starter kit players. Starter kit 1 is going to be the first one. And this is going to get you guys to play different scenarios, different types of scenarios. And are you ready to move on? Are you not ready to move on? We don't care. We want you to read up on the rules. Everyone's got the rule book, Starter Kit 4 rule book. It will have artillery, it will have vehicles, it will have jungle. So what we're going to do for the second month is we're going to step into Starter Kit 2. Most likely we'll step into Starter Kit 3 in January. So read up on your armor, things like that. It's okay if you're weak in those areas. That's not a problem. Your player, your opponent should help you with any difficulty you may have, and please be aware of that your opponent will most likely need to help the players that haven't covered it at all. So kind of go over the rules. If you make some mistakes, not a big deal, but note that in your after action report logs that we'll read, which I've copied, and please put them on both sites, because I'll read the log of the scenario. You could tell me brand new player, never played armor, never played guns, got confusing, and things like that. So add those in your detailed report. The flow of the game I can determine by the after action, not the after, by the log. So I can see your guys flank to the left, flank to the right, crit hit, this, that, and the other. It's okay to put those details in there, but also put details in terms of your game plan. As whoever writes the log, when you guys get together, you can either send me an audio file, very simple, download Audacity, use it on your phone, send it to Discord, drop and drag the Discord file or the audio file from your phone to Discord, drop it in the after action reports, and that way we can add that audio to the gameplay when we review it if you should not happen to be there. That's the most important thing, and I'll reiterate that later. So your game plan is very important in making this happen. Your defender's game plan is very important to making this happen. That way we can look at what you were gunning towards, and then we can interpret the actions of your log if you were not there to be able to better explain the log. Okay? That's the point about that. So this is a scenario. This scenario is really interesting. It has a 60mm mortar, which is a different type of weapon. It's a support weapon mortar. It has a 75mm anti-tank gun, and it also has an AA gun, which has a rotating. It's considered a turreted weapon versus a non-turreted weapon. So we have a mortar. So mortar rules will come into play. Anti-tank gun. So a non-turreted targeting weapon will come into play, and a turreted gun can come into play. So pretty much this has it all. It does have some scenario special rules. Read up on them. They're not too bad, but you need to know the scenario special rules so you don't forget them. Okay? If you have any questions, post your questions on the Discord question site. You could post them in the Game of the Month questions. Yeah, and so that'll just be updated for the most normal questions. If you have any questions on the scenario, post them there, please. That way we can have all the questions centralized for all the players to view. I may make a Game of the Month question section just for that. Look for it, use it. It will make everything a little bit more streamlined. So, one board. Don't even know what the exact victory conditions are. It might be building control. They might have it here. It'd be a building control VC right here as it shows on the website. All right. Map is on the right hand side. It shows you the winners and players, MT versus TL, Free French, German, Free French. So far, Dave and Craig played a couple times. Craig's played 3 times, and Hay has German win. So yeah. And so Craig's won and lost on both sides. So very interesting. Very interesting. Good job, Craig. So again, balance to the Germans. Let's go over to back up. So we'll back up. This is a specific scenario. Let's go back. Hopefully it'll work. Boom. We're going to go to the ASL section now. And again, Monastir Gap. It is a Fuhrers Firemen SS scenario. This is the map on the right-hand side. You can peruse. Oh yeah, cool. You can click on it. It shows the map even there. So I believe this is roadway control. I'm not exactly sure which roadways, but it's roadway control. Lots of hills. I actually kind of like this configuration. This is really kind of crazy, to be honest. It has a scenario special rule about cliffs on the side, so be aware of that. In VASL, you can add cliffs, so don't let that dissuade you from the particular scenario. So this one here is 9. This is interesting. There's 9 attackers and 12 defenders, and this is an area control victory conditions. Again, it's got a 251 half track, and on the opposite side, it's got a 2-inch mortar and a couple of ATRs, which makes the half track very vulnerable. So you might want to do something about that. Again, no night, no nothing. Greek and Australian, rear guard and British reinforcements versus German SS. I think they're 468s. They're Panzer Division, Liebstandarte, Adolf Hitler Division. So there will be 468s. There's a couple scenario special rules in here. Not a big deal. It looks like it's fairly balanced, so I'm not giving the balance to either side. Just play it straight up. Just play it straight up. Even though Bill and Andrew said in 2006 said it's good fun, a little tough for the Germans. So in the newer one, the FF7, I think they may have updated it. Not sure. But even still on Roar data shows it down here as being 1714. So it's good to go as is. That's not too bad. 31 playings. I'm not too dissuaded by that. Average game length is 3.7 hours. To be honest with you, I chose these by the scenario, by advanced search. So what I did is I advanced search for these scenarios, and I chose parameters in here, like I chose like a 6 to 7 turn scenario, no gun or no tanks and things like that. You can put any number, just the control. I don't think I did exit victory, I just put no here, not based on VC. I just wanted building and area control, and then I just kind of like looked at the scenarios to see what looks that might be interesting. Pretty short and pretty fun to play. Never played those scenarios. I'll probably look to be playing both of those particular scenarios, to be honest with you. I haven't played either one. So this is the scenario archive site. The other site I would wish you to at least post your VASL logs is Neil Euland's site, and I'll close this one in here a little bit. So here, what you do is you want to submit an after action report, and then you'll click on particular links. You put your name, your email, post title, post content, and upload your file, and that's all you do. You could upload images, I believe. Just do that, and then Neil will do the rest. And then what that will do is create another category for specific AAR content, very similar to the scenario archive, but just put them in both. They both take very short amounts of time to add them on there. The more sources we have for this information, very simple to put them in both at the same time. Please do so. If you prefer one over the other, well, you just, I mean, there's no reason not to add to both. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt anything. So Scenario Archive has been around a while. Niels wants to start the site. I think there's a lot of strength with just having an after action report site. And if we flood it with VASL logs, when you go to your next tourney, just like it has in the Scenario Archive, the more VASL logs up there, you can actually watch to see how the game progresses, which will give you a lot of insight on the game. That's the idea behind it. It's a dual-pronged attack. Play the same scenario, see how people play the game differently or the same, see how the results differ, and then also we'll have a historical database of VASL logs online that people in the future can say, hey, I've never played ad hoc at Chef Dupont. Let's see how it looks. Oh, wait, there's 5 logs here. Let me check out how each of these games developed based on your guys' maneuver. That's the plan, guys. That's the plan. So, use both gaps. Use both gaps for that, and that should be pretty exciting to do. Very simple to use. If you have difficulty in those, just review the video again. Look at those sites. Just click on the links. You know, add yourself to those databases. Submit your games, and there's a rolling numbers of games you've played and things like that. I'll figure out what type of giveaway, or I'll do something special for you guys. I've got a bunch of t-shirts that are available. Maybe I'll hand out a t-shirt to the people that have played the most games or something like that. A participation trophy. So we'll do something like that, and just enjoy yourself during the game. Remember, the SK1, German balance. ASL, play it straight. Read the rules. Again, I want you to go up. I don't want you to stay at one level. I want you to learn more and more of the system for the starter kit players. You've got the rules. VASL's got the counters. It's up to you to spend the time in reading that stuff. Okay? There's not a lot of stuff on guns that you'll find out there. A couple articles here and there. Read it. It's not too bad. Go over your opponent. Let him help you through. Say, hey, I want to fire here, want to fire there. What's the modifiers? Or pre-game, you say, hey, I'm really unfamiliar with the guns. you know, maybe can you help me out? Things like that. Make sure I get the modifiers right. So that's the idea. We want to learn while we're all playing the same game. Doesn't matter. You got to play guns first. At one time or another. You got to play vehicles at one time or the other. You got to play Japanese one time or the other. And all of them have their each unique abilities for them. I'll try to keep the scenarios very small, very short, just to get a flavor, that taste of ASL into your system. Don't need to play campaign games to get you guys interested. We want to play simpler games, quicker games, and that's the thing. Each progressive game of the month, we're going to change up the victory conditions in each one, so you're not playing the same type of scenario. All right? So remember, first time was exit. Both games had exit victory conditions. This one is area control. Next one might be casualty victory points. The next one might be kick the Americans' ass out of this particular area. You have to force them out of the area. That sort of thing. So there's a lot of variety of different victory conditions that are out there, and I'm going to try and keep that variety going for you guys. All right? That's the plan. Let's continue having fun with Game of the Month. Let's grow it. Tell your friends. And the more we get in here, the merrier it will be. So ho, ho, ho for your December month of ASL and Tactical Tuesdays reviews. And again, I'm going to have an ASL session, an advanced squad leader session. Starter kit guys are welcome to join. We have no problem with you guys jumping in there and asking questions and things like that. You'll learn more. We'll learn more. Everybody will learn more. So that's the plan. In about 2 weeks, the ASL one will be up. I won't have the SK next week. The SK will most likely be the week after. But you never know. It's be a long day for me tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for showing up, guys. Thanks for watching the video. And we will catch you playing Game of the Month online. And if you can identify your rooms, GOTM, and then whatever you want after that, I don't care. GOTM, you know, Craig and Dave. Doesn't matter. GOTM, go to hell stew. Whatever. All right? Thanks, guys. Go to it, baby.